Hey y'all, so let's pick back up into Psalm 91:13. So yesterday we really got a lot of information about the lion, the adder, the young lion, and the serpent, and today we are going to talk about treading. This is exciting. So those things, the adder, the lion, young lion, adder, and serpent, the young lion and serpent, they're kind of fierce and could be intimidating, but not to you and I who have taken ourselves out of our control and put ourselves in the hands of Jesus. Now, so you shall tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and serpent you shall trample underfoot. So we have the words tread and trample, and it is two different words here in the Hebrew. Now, let's define these. To tread is to march. I have done kinder music with both of my boys since, well, Joseph was 9 months old, I guess, and David was really about 3 months old when we started taking him. But when we're working on marching, it is a different type of step. It is purposeful. It is decisive. You think about military marching in line, and even in parades or whatever you've seen on TV, or for those of you that are in the military. The march is very distinct, very different. Now, some definitions of tread: to beat or press with the feet, to subdue, crush, and to repress or repress. And this was that I even defined the word repress, and that is to put down by force. And so actually just reading it out loud and hearing myself talk, I'm thinking about, you repress that anger that you, by force, I've heard that said. That's why I went there, but I know that sounds kind of strange, but you by force stop it. You hold back, or repressing emotion, repressing anything. It's you by force putting it down. Now, let's go to trample. To trample is to tread heavily. So it is a little bit more so than treading. So it's treading on steroids, I suppose, is one way we could say that. To tread heavily so as to bruise, crush, or injure. To inflict injury or destruction, especially contemptuously or ruthlessly. Means you're not quitting, you're not giving up. When you start this thing, you're going to finish it. And what I love about it is that it is talking about us over the enemy, Satan, that we will tread on the lion, the one who roars like a lion in fierce hunger, seeking someone to seize upon and devour. That we will beat, subdue, crush, and put down by force that lion. And the young lion and serpent you will trample underfoot. That is inflicting injury. So the one who would be figuratively cruel, bloodthirsty enemies, that we would inflict injury or destruction ruthlessly, relentlessly. And then the other definition, to tread heavily so as to bruise, crush, or injure. Of course, my thoughts went back to Jesus, who prophesied, the very first prophetic word concerning Jesus is in Genesis 3, verse 15. And it says, her offspring, he will bruise and tread. I will put enmity between you and the woman. God is talking to the serpent here. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. This offspring here is referring to Jesus Christ, to the Messiah. It says, he will bruise and tread your head underfoot. So this tread that Jesus would inflict injury or destruction contemptuously or ruthlessly. And of course we know that Jesus absolutely did crush the enemy. And we can go quickly to Colossians. You've all heard us read this one before. Colossians 2, verse 15. God disarmed the principalities and powers that were against us, and made a bold display and public example of them, triumphing over them in him, and in it the cross, that Jesus Christ made a bold display and public example of his victory over the enemy, powers and principalities, these lions, serpents, and adder. Now, interesting note that I want to make here is that Jesus in Luke 10:19, he's talking to his disciples, and he says, "Behold, I have given you authority and power to trample upon serpents and scorpions. I have given you the physical and mental strength and ability over all the power that the enemy possesses, and nothing shall in any way harm you." Now, the Young's literal translation of this says, "I have given you authority and power to trample all the power of the enemy." So again, we're talking about trampling, to tread heavily, to beat, to press with the feet, to subdue, to crush, to repress, to put down by force, so as to crush the enemy, to inflict injury or destruction, especially ruthlessly, not giving up. And then Jesus gave that power, that ability, that authority to us, to you, and to me. And then going back to Psalm 91, it says, "You shall tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and serpent, you shall trample under feet." Now see, it is in Christ, us in Jesus Christ, that gives us the ability, the power, the authority to be able to tread and trample upon the enemy, to push back the forces in the kingdom of darkness that would try to harm us, that would try to ensnare us, that would try to trap us, that would try to trip us up, that would try to cause us to stumble. This promise here is that we would be the one inflicting harm or inflicting destruction upon the enemy's kingdom. And that is good news. All right, so we're going to finish here for today, and tomorrow we will move into 91:14. I'll see you then. Bye.